Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
Hey there, everybody, it's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards, get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. It's time for the first look for week 4. And I'm looking with my friends, Trevor Hillstrom, Trust and Trevor, and of course, Jonny Danger, John Cole. Gentlemen, last week, you had to have faded the Eagles and Saints. Danger, I don't remember you saying that you were going to do that.
I sure did. If I my pivot article and my tipsy picks, Doc, they were on fire. I picked them all, man. I had Willis, I had you name it, I had it. None of them were in my main lineup.
Trevor, you and I talked about it. We like this. This is a game that you had to have, and then I told you toward the end I was getting away from that game because when Vegas, you know what it was, Trevor? Vegas had Derek Carr 240 yards and 1 touchdown, and that was telling me to stay away from that game. And maybe I got lucky. I didn't have a good week in DFS. I did much better on prop betting, but I don't know. Feel like I missed out.
Well, the game was a fade, but, 2 of the players that were in the winning lineups were in for the Eagles. Barkley was the top running back, I believe, and Goddard was the top tight end. So you did need to have, if you wanted to win the big money, you did need to have a couple pieces from them. Just not the pieces that, when you look at it now, it looks like Goddard was such an easy choice because they were missing all these players. It just goes right over the top of your head. You're looking
at an easy choice, and we talked about it. I know we talked about Goddard being a play, and then when Devonta Smith got injured on that horrible hit, I have no words for this. I think the Saints are a dirty team.
I got a dog barking in the background here.
All right, let's get to this week, guys. Let's start out at quarterback. Let's get it. Here's the obvious play. If there is an obvious play, is it obvious that Kyler Murray is in play here? And do we have to play him? Or is that just a cash game lineup? Trevor, what do you think?
I don't think you have to play him. There's other players on the slate that are lower price that could be pretty good, but I do like him. I mean, how can you not? And Marvin Harrison's a good one to stack him with. So you got the 2 options right there. You got Harrison and you got Murray. And they should count for 40, 50 points easy.
Danger. Murray, is he a must?
He is currently the highest projected owned guy on the slate. Currently. That'll change as the week goes. I'm going to a guy projected to have 1.5 more points than him in the same game for half the ownership.
Little Jaden Daniels action?
Little Jaden Daniels action. I think that we are seeing a salary base that came out before he played Monday night, right? So I think people will catch on. As of right now, Jaden Daniels is my guy, but they'll catch on.
All right, so Lou wants to know our favorite 3-man stack and run back in that game. So, let's just assume we'll go with the Arizona side first. Mm-hmm. Is it Murray, Connor, Harrison, or are you going to bring in Michael Wilson?
I'm not bringing in Michael Wilson. Well, I will if I play a ton of lineups and a couple of them, but not if I'm playing 3-5 lineups. I'm not bringing Michael Wilson, and I'll just leave it at Harrison and Murray and maybe Connor, and I'd come back with McLaurin probably.
What about you, Danger? What if McBride's out? Does that change anything for you?
I like Connor. If Connor's healthy, McBride's out. He picks up some of those dump off passes. I'm going to stack the other side. So for me, it's Terry McLaurin. It's Zach Ertz. And it's Connor to bring it back.
Yeah, I think you guys are missing the best play in the game, to be quite honest with you. I think Harrison is the best player in the game. And I think Brian Robinson, Austin Eckler's not going to play. Austin Eckler is going to be.
That's true, too. Yeah.
So Robinson at 6,100. The dude can catch. He can run. Arizona can't really stop the run very well. I have no problem playing Brian Robinson in this game.
I'm going to do a lot of lineups, 20 lineups this week, Doc, and I think that half of them are going to be this game. So I'll be mixing matching all those guys.
Yeah. But if you're doing that, everybody's going to be doing that. Can we get away from this game, Danger?
Possible. As of right now, I like it regardless, but we'll see how it changes throughout the week.
Trevor, I think I'm going to shock you. I think if I get away from this game, I'm going right to Jacksonville and Houston. Can you agree with me on that? Do you like Houston? I mean, I think Tank Dell may be missing this game. Joe Mixon may be missing this game. Is this a Stroud, Nico, Diggs type of game?
Yeah, definitely. I was looking at that as being a sneaky one too. You just got to hope Jacksonville's able to do something this week early, you know. But yeah, I think there's a bounce back week for the Texans. You know, they ran into a buzzsaw in my Vikings last week. They'll be out for blood this week. So yeah, I like the Texans. I'd be interested to see what their running back situation is going to be too. Akers, I was on Akers last week, and thankfully he got that touchdown. He looked a little slow to me compared, and he just didn't seem to have that burst that I was hoping to see. And then Jacksonville, I don't know if you, I like Kirk and now the rookies.
Brian Thomas.
Thomas, I like Thomas too. I think he could have a good game, so that could be a good game to bring back.
Now, Danger, here's an interesting comment for you. Many years ago, was doing a radio show with our friend Tommy G. Mm-hmm. And Andy Dalton throws for like 150 yards and 3 picks. And he goes to me during a commercial break. He goes, Doc, I know my quarterback for next week. He goes, I'm playing Andy Dalton. Yeah. I go, what? You're insane for playing Andy Dalton. Sure enough, Andy Dalton goes for 220 yards and 3 touchdown passes. Yep. Is it insanity to go to Trevor Lawrence this week because he's going to be owned at 0%? And you put him with maybe Nico Collins and Mike Evans and Marvin Harrison and all these guys?
Well, I don't hate it. I think you remember right before the season started, I said Trevor Lawrence was going to be the stud of the year at quarterback. It's not working out so far, but I haven't given up on it. It's not crazy. Houston looks beatable. And I will tell you, on the other side, you were talking about playing Diggs and Collins and Stroud and maybe being sneaky. Right now, my projections has that as the highest owned double stack of the week.
All right, there we have it. All right, let's see. You mentioned Jaden Daniels before. Is there any other quarterback maybe that we're missing? Do we think Mahomes can explode? I mean, Mahomes hasn't been a winning DFS quarterback to me, Trevor, in what feels like forever.
It's been almost 2 years, darn near. I think, I'm not going to be on. I'm going to be on Rashee Rice for sure, but I'm not going to be on that passing game. You got Andy Dalton's in a good spot again against the Bengals. Bengals defense is bad. He's very low price. He showed he could score in the 20s in fantasy points last week. Him and Deontay Johnson look like a good pairing for this week, and you can bring him back with the Bengals. That's the second highest total on the slate is the Bengals and Panthers. I don't know if that game's going to go under the radar. Burrow's pretty cheap too. He's only in the low 6,000. Was he 6,400? And you got him and Chase. This could be a Higgins week because Chase has a little bit of an injury, but I don't think that's going to bother him too much. But you got Higgins, you get there. So there's a lot of weapons for Burrow, and that could be the highest scoring game of the week right there too.
I think so too. I mean, can we go Andy Dalton for 5,300, Danger?
Oh, I think so. I think he's a safe play, to be honest. I don't think it's a crazy play. Last week it was a little tipsy. It was in my tipsy article. He tore it up with Deontay. Thielen got in the end zone. I do worry a little bit without Thielen there. Can Mingo, step up to the plate for $3,300? Maybe. Honestly, it's being disrespected in the simulation ownership this week so far. Sam Darnold and Justin Jefferson yet again, just week after week being disrespected.
All right, let's talk about that game for a second. Mm-hmm. Trevor, if anybody knows this game, it's you. Jordan Love should have a real good opportunity to be successful this week, shouldn't he?
Well, you would think so. I mean, I just haven't seen the guy play it since week 1. But the thing about LaFleur is he's good at scheming, and this is going to be a chess match where the Vikings are going to be blitzing, and the Vikings are a very fast defense. So trying to pick who's going to be the receiver of that bunch, but Love is in a good spot because it doesn't really matter who the receiver is. You can play him naked. You don't need to play him with a receiver. So. I don't feel like I'm the expert anymore. I told Lou on Sirius XM that the Vikings were going to finish in last place, and I kind of agree with him that they'd be lucky to win 6 games. I'm just shocked you can pinch me right now. I can't believe how good they're playing.
All right, let's get to those running back guys. Let's start it out with the most expensive is Saquon. Look, we know this. It's hard to run on Tampa, but Saquon can catch the football. He was magnificent last week, Danger. Is he popping in the Sims as the number one play?
Hey, he's not the number one play in the Sims, but he's up there. And this is a first for me. I love my pivots and I love my value. And I run this leverage score, right, which is points for dollar spent or whatever, and it always pimps up somebody like really cheap. It's the 6 guys in the 7,000s, the one in the 8,000, and it wants nothing but up plays from running back this week. So it's got Jordan Mason, which is still underpriced at 6,700. It's got Bijan, then Hall, then Kamara, Barkley, Taylor. That is the top plays, the top leverage plays, the top value plays. It says pay up for running back this week.
It's funny. I can give you a few names, though, of guys I like a little bit lower. So let's run through those names. Trevor, can you get behind Najee Harris against the awful Colts run defense?
Sure, because it looks like Jaylen Warren isn't going to play. He's going to get all the volume there. You're talking 25-plus touches. He's got to get in the end zone, though. He hasn't scored yet, so he's got to find a way. They got to give him the ball so he can score a touchdown. If he gets in a touchdown, he's going to score 20-plus points. I don't think there's any way around it because the volume is going to be there, and they're going to be in the game. Pittsburgh's defense is going to keep him in the game, so the game script should be there the full time.
What about Cordero Patterson for an anytime touchdown? That could happen.
Yeah. He sneaks a touchdown, and when you don't want him to. If I have Harrison 50% of my lineups, that's when Patterson's going to score because I know he's going to steal one from me.
Danger. What about Chuba Hubbard? If we like Dalton, did we see what he did for Chuba? Chuba against Cincinnati. Cincinnati's defense looks terrible, really bad. Like Zach Taylor should get fired bad. Could Chuba Hubbard be sneaky?
Chuba is my only guy I like below the 7,000.
Oh, I have another guy.
That's it.
All right. Who's your guy? Because I got a guy.
Aaron Jones going back to Lambeau. He's going to get the ball. He's going to score. I don't have any problem with that. Green Bay's run defense stinks. I don't care. They played 2 terrible teams in the last 2 weeks. The Vikings should be able to run the football on them, and he catches passes. They're using him quite a bit in the passing game too. So he gets in the end zone. He's going to get close to 20 points.
My initial 2 running backs this week are Aaron Jones and Brian Robinson. But a guy I'm starting to like a little bit more is when they play from behind. This guy is used more often. Jerome Ford, Danger. Is he popping in any of your Sims? Because Cleveland stinks, and they're going to have to be playing from behind here, and maybe Jerome Ford could be sneaky value.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying guys aren't popping in the models. I'm just saying when leverage says pay up, it has been historically very good for me to pay up. So if you're going to pay down, you're going to pay up a wide receiver or tight end, then yes, Jerome Ford makes a lot of sense. Aaron Jones, I worry about Jones. I feel like he has a history of having big games and then disappointing the next week when he should have another big game. True. I feel like he gets tired. I feel like he gets tired.
I just think it's at Lambeau. It's going back to Green Bay. He wants to stick it to him. Trust me.
I feel that. I love the narratives. I love it.
All right, let's get to wide receivers. Do we just put Rashee Rice in our lineups every week, Trevor? I mean, it feels like he's a must play.
Well, you have to. He should be priced in the top 3 wide receivers. He should be priced up there with Jefferson. I mean, he was 7,300. I mean, that's grossly underpriced for him, and he's the only guy that they're throwing to consistently. I mean, what was it? 12 targets last week. He's 20 points every week.
Mm-hmm. I was looking at a main event draft that I did, and on the 3rd round, I took Michael Pittman. 2 picks later went Rashee Rice. On the way back, I took Calvin Ridley. 2 picks after me was Chris Godwin. I'm like, looking back on it now, if I was Rice Godwin, I'm your rich friend right now.
That's right.
I did the same thing. I was looking at the draft and in a lot of leagues, I was trying to get greedy and sneak him in later because I thought a lot of these sites like CBS and ESPN, they had him ranked lower and people were nabbing him for me. I should have just drafted him in the 4th round in every damn league I was in. Him I could have went Neighbors, him and Flowers. I would have been sitting pretty.
All right, Danger, who's popping? Which receivers are popping in that leverage article? Because if you're spending up on running backs, you got to be spending down on receivers.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to end up being kind of chalky, but I think Deontay Johnson just has to be in your lineup at $5,600. I'm going to eat all that chalk, all of it. I think I got to go back to Rashid Shaheed. I think I got to he gave me a big fat 0 last week. I think I got to just jump back in on him. He's just too talented, too fast. They've hit him too many times. And let me tell you this, Darnell Mooney looks like wide receiver 1 over there.
All right, let me give you a cause for pause, Danger, why you should not be going for Rashid Shaheed. Okay. What do you need to get Shaheed the ball? Time. Because his best plays are those deep plays. Do you know who's on the IR for the next 6 to 8 weeks? Their center.
Yep.
And that worries me. Because if Derek Carr's not getting the time, Shaheed's not getting the ball, makes Kamara way more interesting to me, getting those quick passes than Shaheed, because that guy needs time to get down the field 40 yards. So I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I think I'm staying away. Trevor, do you have any cheaper guys that you like?
Oh, I'm all over Deontay Johnson too, and this guy is a shot in the dark. I have a thing in my heart, and I can't stand Green Bay for Dontavian Wicks. This guy is going to be on the field a lot in this game, and I think that he's going to be matched up differently against the Vikings, where he's going to get open a little bit. So I like Wicks is really cheap, just for a real cheap option. Like I mentioned, I like the 2 guys from Jacksonville, Thomas and Kirk. I think if you're expecting a high scoring game, they're going to have to be part of it.
What about George Pickens, Danger? He just seems to be a guy who you may have to have him one of these weeks. It's going to be like a Pickens 6 for 150 and 2 touchdown weeks.
It could be, yeah. I mean, he definitely has the most talent of the people in his price range. I mean, I guess if T. Higgins was healthier and ready to run 100%, maybe not. But I like that a lot. Like I said, I like Darnell Mooney. I think you can go back to Ray in that offense. Both those guys are getting opportunities at absolute dirt cheap. If you want to get tipsy and throw Jonathan Mingo in with your Carolina stacks, I'm not mad at it. And I really love this kid. Is it Vela in Denver?
Oh yeah.
I love this kid, and I wanted him bad last week, but he was scratched the last minute. So if he's active, I like him too.
Trevor, you're going to be keyed in on that Minnesota game. Jaden Reed is one of those guys who is a slate breaker. I know you mentioned Wicks. I have a lot of love for Wicks. I have love for Christian Watson. But to me, as much as I like all those guys, Reed is the best receiver there, is he not?
Yeah, he probably is. He's a little bit more expensive. I mean, he's a median guy that, I have some interest in Reed, no doubt. I'm just kind of interested to see if this Viking defense can keep going, doing what they're doing. If they're doing what they're doing, then I'm really not worried about anybody from Green Bay. But Vikings on grass, like I said, LaFleur's scheme as well. They'll find a way to score some points. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a lower scoring game, to be honest. So I wanted to talk about, you were talking about Pickens. I'm trying to find a way to play Fields and Pickens because if you look at the optimizer, the one that we use, DFS Hero, they have Fields in the top 2 as far as value at quarterback. But I don't know if the game script's going to get in there. We need Pittsburgh to start playing from behind. They're not falling behind. They're playing with the lead, and they just want to run that clock out, run. So I would like to find a lineup to play Fields and Pickens, and hope for some reason maybe Richardson can scramble around and find some guys downfield, and that gets to be a high scoring game. Because one of these games for Pittsburgh's got to start getting higher scoring. I mean, all these games are going under, so we got to find a game that pops up for them, and I think it could be this week.
It could be. Imagine if you went Fields, Najee, Pickens. Mm-hmm. You're pretty much getting almost the entire offense there.
And then you can really lay the lumber and pay up elsewhere.
Correct.
You can get Rice, you can get Hall, you can get Robinson.
All right, Permar says, guess which defense is the worst covering horizontal breaking routes? It's New Orleans. Zach Robinson will deploy Drake London in the Puka role. Danger, is Drake London popping on your models?
He really isn't. Number 4 edge player in simulated winning DFS lineups is Darnell Mooney. So I think I got to go with Mooney getting open, but I hear him, and I'm going to look into that a little bit more.
Won't Terrell follow him?
No, Terrell is on Atlanta.
Yeah, won't he follow? Who's he talking about? Olave? Oh, London.
He's saying Drake London is good.
What about Lattimore? Won't he?
Oh, well, yeah, Marshawn Lattimore. Marshawn Lattimore is pretty tough. He's tough. He's tough.
Those guys, you look at like London and Olave, they're guys that you want to play in seasonal a lot of times, but they don't have those big DFS games. They might hit 20 points or 19 points. If you're going to win a DFS tournament, you're going to need your 3 wide receivers that are at that price or above to be in the mid-20s, upper 20s. If you want to take down a big one.
I'm going to give you another game, which I think nobody's looking at here, and they should. You should be looking at Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
You should be looking at Baker Mayfield to Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin is going to rip the slot corner to shreds. Yes. I mean, Philadelphia, Mike Evans is going to score a touchdown for sure this week, but I don't think anybody's playing this one, Danger. What percent, what do you have? How much owned you have the Tampa Bay? 3%, 4%?
Let me take a quick look here. I'm looking at my top 25 stacks, and Baker doesn't come in till 14 of ownership stacks.
Exactly. What do you think, Trevor? Can you buy into that?
Definitely. I think the Philadelphia Eagles defense stinks. The Saints, I don't know what they were doing last week. They wanted to play slow, grinded out football and play defense, blah, blah, blah. They should have been going and throwing, and, they just got away from what they were doing.
So true.
And, that was just a dumb game plan. And Tampa is going to come after them.
Tampa has to come after them.
Yes.
They played so bad. I just feel like the NFL, when people are like, this is how this game is going to go, it never goes that way. No. Tampa was did I not call? I know I did. I told you that Denver was going to play well in that game.
Yes.
I called Bo Nix. I'm calling Jacksonville with a surprise. I don't think Jacksonville wins, but they play well. And I think Tampa plays well this week. I do.
Hey, Doc, I know you don't monitor the Discord a whole bunch, but I put my early bets in, and I've been 8 for 10 on the season when I've been posting them. I got Colts plus 1.5. I got Saints plus 2, and I got Jacksonville plus 7.
The nice thing about those teams, the Colts, everybody's going to be on Pittsburgh. I mean, that's just going to be the obvious play. You got undefeated Pittsburgh, the Colts been reeling. So now that you say that the Colts are only a 1.5 point dog, I kind of really like that game to be higher scoring, because I think Pittsburgh and Fields are going to have to come from behind. So I think I'm going to elevate Fields really up there in a lot of my lineups.
So this is what I look for. I run these simulations not only to get projections and values for the DFS, but it translates into a betting as well. And the simulations show Vegas having Pittsburgh at 1.5 or 2 favorites, and it says it should be 3.5 favorites for the Colts. That's a huge flop in the simulations, and that's what I've been betting on all year, and it's been hitting.
Interesting. Well, look, once again, I'll go back to the Colts look terrible. Richardson stinks. Who's to say that Anthony Richardson can't throw for 2 touchdowns this week and run for another? I mean, this guy can break any slate. Everybody thinks that we saw Jaden Daniels play inspired football. But he played inspired football against a Bengals secondary that looked slow.
Yeah, they're bad.
So,
hey, remember for week 1, Doc, Richardson, back foot, 60-yard dime, one of the most beautiful throws I've ever seen.
Ever, yeah. By the way, I'm not sure, Jet fans, please don't get angry at me. The last time I remember the Jets played Denver, bad things happened to Breece Hall. I just need him to get through this week healthy. All right, let's get to tight end, guys. Tight end has been so bad in general, whether it's in seasonal, whether it's in DFS. Are we paying for Brock Bowers? Needs to be in a game where it's going in his direction. Travis Kelce, I want no part of. Trevor, are you paying up for any tight end this week?
No, I'm looking at did you see Goddard's price on FanDuel? Holy smokes, they have him as the top tight end at 7,500. I mean, I'm not paying that. But for DraftKings, you're looking at Gesicki. You're looking at I can't think of who's the guy for Kmet? I think Kmet.
I'm not touching Cole Kmet because Keenan Allen's back this week.
Oh, is Keenan Allen gonna play? then I'm off Komet too. So I thought maybe that would be the security blanket Caleb Williams was finding. But yeah, I'm playing down for Jasicki. I'm trying to think of other guys, but the one I noticed right away was Jasicki.
What about you, Danger?
I'm playing exactly one play, Doc. I'm punting, and I'm playing Tommy Tremble. $2,700.
I thought about him. He had 3 receptions. I thought about him. He was interesting.
Like $2,700. What do you need? 3 catches, 25 yards, get you 2x your money, and maybe you pay up somewhere else. If he catches a touchdown, you're in the mint.
Maybe I'll give you my two. I'll give you Hunter Henry, who was terrible last week. He can catch a touchdown, no problem, right? And Tyler Conklin. Aaron Rodgers always goes. And what did Kate Otten do last week against Denver? He had like 7 catches. I mean, is it crazy to think that Conklin goes 5 for 50 at 3,600?
No, that looks good because, Rodgers was starting to build up with him, and Rodgers looked to him a lot the last time he played. So, yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Can we go back to Parkinson again after 3 weeks?
No. No.
Oh, by the way, Permer, I totally agree with you. Elijah Higgins. Nobody's going to play this dude. I like him. He was a wide receiver at Stanford. And with McBride out, I absolutely think Higgins is that sleepy play that nobody's going to be on, but I don't hate it at all. Don't hate it at all. How much is Higgins? He's 3,100? Yeah, he's definitely in play. Definitely in play.
3,100.
All right, quick question here. Stranger Things. Can you go back to Cleveland again, thinking that the Raiders are going to be good and Cleveland's going to be playing from behind, Trevor?
Well, they're priced up. If you look at the optimizer does have Watson as the top-rated quarterback for value. He's top, and Fields was 2, but I can't get behind Watson to score. Maybe you can, but Mari Cooper, we were a week late on him. I did play him in a lineup or 2 last week, but remember we were on him the week before.
Talked about Amari last week, though, didn't we?
Yeah, we did a little bit, but we were really on him the week before.
It was Emmerich in the Sunday morning show was saying Cooper.
Cooper at home is like another being. Cooper on the road, I'm not going to play. I'm not. But Cooper at home, I'm into.
So, I mean, if you're not playing Cooper, if you're not going to play Cooper in Las Vegas, I mean,
Jerome Ford, I'm playing.
Who are you gonna play there? I mean,
Jerome Ford.
Yeah.
All right, Trevor. Before I let you all go, give me a lineup that you're thinking right now, Trevor.
I already got one entered in here, so I better check it out. I always like to get my first lineup in early for the Danger. I'm doing pretty good in that league. I think
all 3 of us are right next to each other.
I haven't cashed in it, but I've always been near. So I would cash with that. I have Andy Dalton.
Okay, who are your running backs?
I have Najee.
Okay, and
Zach Moss.
Ooh. All right, who are your receivers?
Godwin, Deontay Johnson, Rashee Rice. Then I went Jasicki, and I do have Bijan Robinson, and I have the Falcons D.
Really, you're spending up for Bijan?
Yeah, this will probably change, but that was
so. Right now, I have you at 136 points on that one. All right, Danger, give me your lineup.
Just had to change it real quick, but I'm almost there. Let's see. I got Daniels. I got Barkley.
Wait, hold on. I got to get these guys in. Daniels, okay. Barkley.
Yep. Mason.
Okay, I heard he's good.
I got Terry McLaurin.
Okay.
I got Deontay.
Yeah.
I got Tremble in at tight end and Vikings D, and I'm working on the last 2.
Seriously? All right, hold on. Tremble. And then you got the Vikings D. Let me get them in here. All right, so you got 2 more spots, Danger.
Almost done here. I think I like T. Higgins this week. I think I'm gonna.
I like T. Higgins. I agree with you. All right, and who's the last spot at flex?
Oh man, I think for the time being, I'm going to throw your boy Jerome Ford in there for the flex.
All right, you're at 126. Trevor was way above you.
That's okay. I got faith in my numbers.
I'm going to go with a little CJ Stroud, and then I'm going to do the double stack of Nico and Diggs. I'm going to go with my boy Brian Robinson and yes to Najee. Tight end, I'm going to go with my guy Hunter Henry. Defense, who's the cheapest defense? Probably Atlanta, especially if the Saints center is not there anymore. What am I going to do here now?
Atlanta plays good defense.
They do. I'm going to play George Pickens because I liked him before. So flex, I have not that much money. 5K. Who do I get for 5K? All right, I'll throw my boy Lad McConkey in there. So I'm at 134. So Trevor's at 136. I'm at 134, and Danger's at 126. Terrible.
Like it.
One more guy I just remembered. I don't want to be too much of a homer. If Addison plays, he might be a play because I could see the matchup. They're gonna have Jared following Jefferson, so you're gonna have Addison on Stokes. Addison could be.
Oh, Stokes is bad.
Yes,
like he is legendarily bad.
Yeah,
and I think if Addison is out, Naylor is in, and if Addison is in, I couldn't agree with you more, Trevor. That's a great call. How much is Addison this week?
5,100.
Really? Worth every penny.
Yeah, if he's playing, I like him.
Yeah, I do too. I think they talked about him being close. He's
limited in practice, so they said today that they're kind of feeling that he's going to play Sunday.
By the way, in my lineup, you know what I may do just to like go a little crazy? I may throw Trevor Lawrence as the quarterback with the two receivers.
Yeah, I'm thinking
I've already changed it all.
I'm thinking about taking Bijan out and putting Harrison in.
Ooh, might have to do that.
Yeah, I think I'd rather go with Harrison over Bijan.
Yeah, but let's see. I'm just on Fantasy Labs.
What do you think of Zach Moss? I think he's in a good spot. He got more volume last week, but God, they got so many weapons there. That ball's going to travel to a lot of hands.
Chase Brown looked explosive last week.
Right, but for some reason they prefer Moss in a lot of ways.
They do.
I kind of wish. I never wish an injury, but I wish maybe one would get traded.
Can I tell you Dallas missed out on a couple of things? First of all, how do they not draft Braylon Allen? Secondly, how do you not trade for Roschon Johnson? He'd be their best running back by far.
Yeah, I don't know what are the Bears doing with that running back situation? It doesn't look like that Swift doesn't look good at all.
I picked up Roschon everywhere just in case he either takes the job or gets traded here shortly.
I got him in a ton of best ball, Roschon. But
DeAndre Swift, did you see that play was a 4th and 1 and he lost 10 yards?
Yeah.
I don't know if that was possible. All right, before we go, guys, Danger, who is the tipsy pick of the week?
Oh, my goodness. Tipsy pick of the week. I am going to go against my 49ers. I'm going to go against my 49ers. I don't want to do it, but I'm going to go against them. And I think that you can play a 3,100 bare bottom Thornton in a crazy drink a few beers.
Thornton?
You asked me for a tipsy pick, sir.
I didn't say drunk off your ass pick. All right, Trevor, who's the Trust and Trevor pick of the week?
My trust and Trevor play of the week. Well, I've mentioned Addison if he plays, but
I love that one.
You want a cheap guy or you want an expensive guy?
I want a tipsy crazy pick.
A tipsy crazy pick. I really don't have one. I haven't really dug that far into who's that crazy yet. I can't top Danger's crazy guy anyway. So, Dontavian Wicks.
That's a good one.
Yeah, we'll go with Wicks.
I'm going to stay in that Arizona-Washington game. I love the Elijah Higgins mindset.
Oh, yeah.
But I think Michael Wilson may be sneaky. He's looked better this week, and everybody's going to be on Harrison, and I can't blame them for that because he's fantastic. But Michael Wilson just seems to be in a good spot. I might play him.
Hey, Doc. Michael Wilson in the simulated winning contest. Number 2 in exposure in 18.7% of winning simulated DFS main slate lineups.
Well, there we go.
Who is number 1?
Jordan Mason.
Really?
But the thing I don't like about Jordan Mason, he's not catching any passes.
No, he's not catching anything.
He's not catching any passes. So if he doesn't score a touchdown, you're screwed.
Right.
No, but that 49ers offense is built to give those guys 2 touchdowns a game.
Where was it last week?
It'll be back this week.
I don't want to talk about the week before either, Trevor.
Why? Mason did good the week before. He got 100 yards and a touchdown against us. That's the only touchdown I was really happy to see. That and Akers. I was glad the Vikings gave up those touchdowns. We had the game in the bag.
The reason why he pops up like that is it's just 6,700 for
right.
for 100 yards and 1 touchdown minimum. So.
Well, the thing is, like we saw with Akers, Akers went from being a terrible DFS play and he saved his day with a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Right? All it takes is that 1 touchdown saves everything.
On DraftKings at 4,000. FanDuel, he had to be the fade.
All right.
No, the opposite. FanDuel, he was the
DraftKings, he was the fade. FanDuel, he was the play.
Yeah.
All right, Doc. Here's the top 10 in the simulation which changes. You do the simulation that spits out different things. But Mason, Michael Wilson, Deontay Johnson, Zach Moss, Bijan Robinson, Rashee Rice, Zach Ertz, Darnell Mooney, James Conner.
Trevor, you had 3 of the first 5 guys.
Yeah, I better leave my lineup the same.
Yeah. He's going to be my rich friend today. Do not change that lineup.
No.
All right. For Trevor Hillstrom and Jonny Danger, this is Dr. Roto. Please check us out for Friday Night Lights on Friday about 9 o'clock. And, of course, Saturday morning, Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio from 8 to 10. And then Sunday, join us in the Discord over at drroto.com, and we'll try to get you a bunch of winners. All right, everybody, especially in Northern Florida, please be safe. I know it's going to be a little crazy out there. All right, be well and take care.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.